What's going on, Bulls fans? Welcome into the Bulls Report. Coming up on today's show, we're going to be talking about 3 wings that Chicago could sign during this free agency period coming up this summer. And then also, I got my take on why I believe the Bulls should re-sign Patrick Williams, as a lot of fans are kind of selling their stock in the former 4th overall pick, but I do believe the Bulls should re-sign him. I'll give you guys my reasons on the second half of today's show. But hey, if you guys want the Bulls to make a splash move this summer, send the front office a message and drop a like on today's show. The Bulls have been a pretty boring team over the past couple of off seasons, but if you guys want them to make a splash move this summer, like today's show and send them a message. But let's talk about the 3 free agent targets for the Bulls at the wing position, and we'll start off with the best name out there, and that's going to be Pascal Siakam, who was traded from the Toronto Raptors to the Indiana Pacers this summer, and I really do believe that he will return to the Indiana Pacers, but obviously you never know. If they can't, match his contract, or if they can't, meet his demands, maybe he could want out. But, no doubt, I do think he will re-sign with Indiana. I think, you send all those assets to Toronto and bring it in the forward. They probably have some sort of handshake agreement to keep him Indiana for the near future. But Siakam will be a great addition to this Bulls team, and he's just been the definition of consistency throughout his NBA career, always staying fairly healthy, averaging 20-plus points per game over the last 4 seasons, great at getting to the rim, and an elite defender on that wing spot in the NBA. Obviously, shooting the three-point ball has never been his strength, but he doesn't really take a lot of threes, so I'm not too worried about that. But, hey, this playoffs, he's actually been really, really solid for Indiana. Been watching the Knicks Pacers series very closely in the second round, and he's impressed me a ton. And he's also going up against OG Anunoby in that second-round series versus the Knicks, who's a great wing defender. And he's still able to put up pretty solid numbers, 20.9 points per game, 8.5 boards, 4 assists. Always viewed him as an underrated playmaker, and obviously shooting the ball very, very well at 52.1% from the field. Now, he is eligible to sign a 5-year, $248.5 million deal this summer. So maybe that's where Indiana and himself kind of don't get to agree to terms on a deal. Maybe Indiana has a certain number they're willing to go to, and Siakam thinks he can get more on the open market. But, no doubt, if the Bulls are going to go all in on a forward, on a wing this summer, I would have Siakam as my number 1 choice, no doubt about it. But number 2 on my list, I'm going to be talking about Miles Bridges here, the Charlotte Hornets forward, who actually had a great season with the Hornets. Now, this could be a typical case of, putting up good numbers on a bad team. But again, man, he was really solid. Efficiency for him has, always been an issue throughout his NBA career. Never been the most efficient wing scorer, but, I'll take 46.2% from the deck and 34.9% from downtown. But if we take a look a little deeper here on his stats, I love this. His catch and shoot 3-point percentage sitting at 38.2. Pull-up midi, not a strength of his game. He only takes about 2.3 of those per game, but he's also an athletic freak, getting to the rim, and his less than 10 feet shooting percentage at 57.9. But, Miles Bridges, typical kind of 3-and-D athlete on that wing spot. I'd like to see, his effort increase. But again, like when I look at these guys who are playing on just terrible basketball teams and, the last 2 months of the season, you're really not playing, to win. You're almost playing for yourself. Like, I look at Miles Bridges as a guy, like if you bring him on, a team, and I'm not saying the Bulls could be contending next season, but you get him on a playoff contender, he has the athletic ability to be a pretty solid defender. So I think Miles Bridges, obviously, you got character concerns. Don't really want to touch on that too much on today's show. But, in terms of another wing, he's number 2 for me as the second best option for the Bulls to bring in this summer. Now, number 3, Tobias Harris, the $40 million man from the Philadelphia 76ers. Never forget when they chose him over Jimmy Butler. Still can't believe that. But, man, you take a look at his numbers over the last 4 seasons. You're saying to yourself, man, I could get a 6'8" wing who can guard pretty well on the outside and also put up damn near 17 points a game over the last 4 seasons, and the efficiency's always been there with them. 3-point shooting did go down a little bit this past season in 70 games, shooting 35% from downtown, but with Embiid out, his usage rate really increased, so I kind of attribute, a shooting slump to that. But the playoffs was a struggle for Tobias Harris. In 6 games versus the Knicks, yes, Knicks are a great defensive team. They were really getting the best of them, but he just did not perform. Only 9 points a night as the third option, and the efficiency was terrible, 43% from the field and 33% from downtown. Out of all 3 of these guys, Siakam, Bridges, and Harris is definitely last on my list. Siakam would be my pipe dream. but that feels unlikely. But I think the most likely choice that could go down for the Bulls this summer would be a guy like Miles Bridges. I mean, after Patrick Williams got hurt for the Bulls, they legitimately had 0 wings on their roster. I think the wing position will be one they target in free agency this summer. But hey, you guys let me know. Pick one of these guys to sign. Give me a PS for Siakam, MB for Bridges, or a TH for Tobias Harris. Now, coming up in just a second, I'll be laying out my reasons why I would bring back Patrick Williams this summer. It's a controversial topic amongst Bulls fans. Some people have already sold their stock. Some people are still bought in, and I'm still bought in. And I'll explain to you guys why here in a sec. But first, got to give a big-time shout-out to today's sponsor, and that is PrizePicks. If you guys download the PrizePicks app and use promo code CLNS, we're going to match your first deposit up to $100. And with NBA playoffs here, there is no better time to be playing PrizePicks. I create a lineup for every single game I watch, and it just adds that much more juice to the viewing experience for the playoffs. This is a lineup I got cooked up for tonight's game. I'm going to ride the hot hand of Anthony Edwards and take the more on 28.5 points for him. And even though Jason Tatum has been struggling in the scoring department in the postseason, he's been actually great on the glass. So I'll take the more on 10 rebounds for him. And then I think Luka. I think it's going to be a comeback game tonight for the Dallas Mavericks. I'm going to take the more on 50.5 points, rebounds, and assists for him. But hey, fade my picks, ride with my picks. We just ask you guys to do it at PrizePicks. Download the app and use promo code CLNS, and we'll match your first deposit up to $100. It is my favorite app I have on my phone, and it will be for you guys as well. Give them a chance. PrizePicks, pick more, pick less. It's that easy, and use promo code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100. Now, I am fully in the camp that the Bulls should re-sign Patrick Williams this summer, and by no means do I think he has lived up to that 4th overall draft pick a couple years ago. But I still think he could be incredibly effective moving forward here in the NBA. And, these numbers in 27 minutes a night before he obviously, left this year due to the injury, I thought he was out. He started off terrible this season. I mean, the first month of the year, he was shooting below 40% from the field, below 30% from downtown. But then he went on a tear, and he upped the shooting percentage all the way up to 39.9. And I think it just kind of speaks to the hard work he's been putting in, in the offseason. I got 3 reasons why I would bring him back. Number 1, I still think he has potential. Do I think he has all-star level potential anymore? No, but I still think he's got potential to be that kind of elite 3-and-D wing in the NBA that we have seen translates from the regular season to the postseason, and every contender you guys see right now, they have that 3-and-D archetype on their roster. And it gets me to the second point. You look at the trends around the NBA. I think the NBA this postseason, and honestly post-All-Star break, has allowed physicality to come back in the NBA. And, I think a guy like Patrick Williams will benefit from that. He's got a strong, really athletic frame. And if you allow him to put your hands on you and really kind of bring back the hand check, he could even be a better defender. And I want the Bulls to follow the Timberwolves playbook here a little bit. Obviously, you got to go get that guy in Anthony Edwards, and that's kind of the main piece of the pie for Minnesota. But, the guys they got on the outsides, like the Jaden McDaniels, I mean, they are incredible what they're doing to the Denver Nuggets. The length on that team, you feel that on a basketball court. And Patrick Williams is from that breed. When you see him bringing the ball up and you see that 6'7", 7-foot wingspan he's got on himself, it is a terrifying look. So I think the Bulls need to kind of shift towards the trend of the NBA that they're now embracing more physicality, and I think Patrick Williams is that. And also, he has worked his ass off throughout his NBA career. I mean, what was his biggest concern coming out of college? He can't shoot the basketball. I mean, he had this nasty hitch in his jump shot, and a big reason why I questioned the pick at first. But we look at the increase in his three-point percentage at Florida State. He shot 32%. And now in his NBA career, he's a 41% three-point shooter. So in my opinion, I think Patrick Williams, I don't think he's got that all-star potential anymore. I just think that's unlikely. He's just way too passive on the court to, get there. But I think he's got potential to be, a true elite 3-and-D wing. And I think the Bulls need that, or I know the Bulls need that. And I think it would be the best choice for the Bulls to kind of head that direction and build around a player like that. But hey, let me know if you guys disagree with me. I want to hear you guys' thoughts down in the comments section. Would you re-sign Patrick Williams? Give me an S for sign or a P for pass down below. I want to say thank you guys so much for tuning into today's show. If you guys haven't already, turn those notifications on and hit that sub button down below. But thank you guys so much for watching. And as always, go Bulls.